So, in 2021, I made a goal to finally watch the entire Spielberg filmography, up to date lead up to the remake of West Side Story. There are 7 films from him that I have not seen, but other are rewatches. Now, Spielberg is a director that made an impact in my early teens to know what I want to grow up, and that I want to become a filmmaker. Hence, I'm currently a film student, a struggling film student, and working on his senior thesis project and working on a script. His films, whether bad or good, I still always love him as a filmmaker and an inspiration. This is Steven Spielberg filmography ranked. Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Geeks and another video, and today is the video that I have been waiting to make for the longest time. It was like a dream idea, is to rank all of Steven Spielberg filmography up to date all the way to West Side Story 2021 West Side Story, which just came out recently, and you can watch my thoughts on the film, link below. If you're curious what's my thoughts on the remake, spoiler alert, I loved it. Yeah, I've been dying to make this video for quite some time because Steven Spielberg is a filmmaker I love and adore and admired, and just he is the reason why I want to become a filmmaker. And E.T., his film E.T. was the calling that I found something I wanted to do. That is, filmmaking, and he is my hero. He is everything what I love as a human being that he is. He's a passionate human being. He loves films just like I do, just like every film fan is. And I just adore his filmography and direction. And this is the filmmaker I always look for seeing when a new project comes along, and I, have to see it day one basically. And today is the day I'm gonna rank all of his filmography. So before we start, this is my opinion, this is my ranking. If you don't like the way I rank, I'm sorry, but yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's get right into it. So these are the category for the ranking. We got masterpiece, great, good, okay, meh, and awful. So without further ado, I'm hoping this video is not be long, but it's probably gonna be long because I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts on each of the films. So sorry, but enjoy though. Let's get right into it. So the first one, right at the bat, in no particular order, is Bridge of Spies, starring Mark Rylance and Tom Hanks, and I think it's a great film. Really great film with a great, fascinating story that is based on a true story, and just it's very intense yet grounded. I really enjoyed the performances by Tom Hanks and Mark Rylance. Really great performances by them. They're dynamic as always, and Steven Spielberg's direction is always going to be really good. It showed that he actually cared for the project. Any project that he puts in, he's always cared for. Bridge of Spies is a great film. Really enjoy it, but I don't love it as other Steven Spielberg film. But it's a great film nonetheless. Great storytelling. There's a great cinematography. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, it's a great film. That's what I'm trying to say. And then we got the first of the masterpieces. We got Saving Private Ryan, which, like I said, we'll go to the masterpiece. Love Saving Private Ryan. Intense, grounded, realism. The way it was shot, I felt like raw. Like you were there with them, the journey they go through, and the performance all around. Again, Tom Hanks in that movie is phenomenal, especially Tom Hanks' performance. His character journey, go through the stress, the anxiety that got through him, and it's just phenomenal performance by Tom Hanks that we actually cared for him, for this particular character. And the way it was shot is really great. You were there in the journey. And yeah, this is the film that was so intense, and especially the opening scene is the part that hooked you in. Like, okay, I'm in for the ride. And I adore Saving Private Ryan. Every time I revisit the film, it never gets old. It never gets bored. I'm always interested in. I'm always in. And Saving Private Ryan is great. I love it. And we got Munich, starring Eric Bana, and I think it's another great film from Steven Spielberg filmography. Um, Great film. And this is the film that has the iconic um, phone booth scene. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've seen this movie, yeah. But yeah, it's a great movie with great performance by Eric Bana. It's intense yet very fascinating about the whole Munich story, and I thought it was great. That was my first time watch, believe it or not, and I'm happy I got a chance to finally watch the movie for the first time this year, and Munich is great. And then we got the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant, and I thought it was okay. It was okay. It was a fine, little, decent film. It's a family-friendly film. Nothing too special, but it had heart. It had enjoyment. It had a sense of wonder. I really do enjoy. I'm one of the few people who actually like the visual effects in the movie going on, but not a lot of people does. But okay, that's their opinion. But I really do enjoy the BFG just for it's a smaller scaled movie, but it's very lighthearted. But it's just an okay, decent film, not one of his best in my opinion. And I did see this one in theaters, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. But it's not the greatest. I see some flaws in the movie, but I enjoyed the BFG, so I'm putting it in the okay category. And then we got the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is phenomenal. So I'm gonna go with masterpiece. Great stuff. It deals with psychological aspect of it. It's a sci-fi film. It's great. Um, yeah, it's one of the film I revisit a lot into it and finding something new into the film. Really love this one. Just great score by John Williams. Wonderful direction by Steven Spielberg, and this is a film that deals with a lot of mental issues when you discover something and the father he's becoming a new person. It's not the same. He got crazy and built this clay or mud out of mud, trying to figure out what this is. And I thought it was really great to watch because you see what is going on with his mind, basically. And I really love Close Encounter of the Third Kind. Every time I revisit the film, the more I love film. And yeah, Close Encounter of the Third Kind belongs to the masterpiece. Oh boy, here we go. We got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's awful. Without doubt, one of the least favorite film from his filmography, sadly. Little backstory with Indiana Jones 4. My friends and I were really excited for this movie because we were big fans of the first three Indiana Jones films. And we saw the fourth film, on a big screen in the opening weekend, basically on Friday afternoon. We were so excited. Oh my god, this is the brand new Indiana Jones on a big screen. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And this is probably my very first Steven Spielberg film I ever saw in theaters on a big giant screen. So that was my introduction, basically. Well, not introduction, but reintroduction because I have seen E.T. when I was very, very young on VHS, but did not notice his name after revisiting E.T. again in my early teens to my 10 years old, 11 years old myself. Indiana Jones, the Kingdom of Crystal Skull was a massive disappointment. I remember we were in sitting on our seats and we were really excited. And as soon as the movie starts, something's missing. Something out of ordinary that is not right, doesn't feel right at all. And we got out seeing disappointed. Yeah, I did revisit the film for the first time in a long while this year. Yeah, I still don't like the movie and the story that it was giving, and I'm hoping that Indiana Jones 5 will be good, at least good. But yeah, that's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal Skull goes on in the awful category. Deservedly go. Deservedly so. Anyways, next we got the remake of War of the Worlds starring Tom Cruise and the very young Dakota Fanning, and I think it's a good film. Really good sci-fi film, alien invasion, and this is a remake from I believe the 40s. It's available on the Criterion Blu-ray, which is great B movie. This remake is really good. But honestly, I prefer the original over the remake. But I actually really enjoy the remake, as it's just as good as the original in my opinion. But it's not as great as Saving Private Ryan or The Close Encounter of the Third Kind. But it's a really solid entertainment throughout basically, and I really enjoy the visual effects. I love the chase scene when Tom Cruise's character was running away from these beams, these alien beams, and attacking people, and people got turned to dust. And I thought it was a really exciting sequence, action sequence, really well done. Um, but overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed War of the Worlds remake, and it's a really good movie. I gotta admit, it's a really good movie, especially if we visit this movie again. I still consider this a good movie. It's not one of his best, obviously, but I really enjoyed the remake of War of the Worlds, and I think Tom Cruise did a good job, and Dakota Fanning is a really good job too. I thought some moments were really intense, and yeah, that's my thoughts on the remake of War of the Worlds. I really enjoyed it. And then we got War Horse, masterpiece. Mm. A hidden gem for in the Steven Spielberg filmography. Not a lot of people talk about War Horse, but only mention, but didn't talk about more about it. Um, I love War Horse. I adore this movie. I love the story of the horse that has been given by different owners, and we see each the different owners' journey and how made an impact to that particular horse. And there's some beautiful shot, some breathtaking sequences. I was in awe, and my eyes were like wide open. Oh my god, this is magical. This is a spectacle. And I love the score by John Williams, especially the theme, the piano theme. Ooh, it gets me every time. And War Horse is a great film. It's a masterpiece. And every time I rewatch this movie, the more I revisit this movie, the more I love War Horse. I adore War Horse so much that it deserves more credit. It's beautifully done. Tom Hiddleston is in this movie as well. Um, it's a great cast and a great movie. And there's this one scene where we see the horse, the main horse, running through the barricades basically, and we see the horse. It's a beautiful shot. The way it was shot, it was like it felt almost like a runner, shot. And the fireworks, I can talk about this movie for hours and upon hours. So I'm gonna go War Horse in the masterpiece. It deserved to be in that spot. Love War Horse. And then we got Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, which is just meh. It's enjoyable, I guess, but it's pretty cool to see Jeff Goldblum back as Dr. Ian Malcolm. But I really like the additional characters, Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore. I thought their characters were really good. I really enjoyed their character. Hopefully they'll bring those back for the Jurassic World sequel. Hopefully, um, yeah, it's just meh. The Lost World is meh. There's some good moments. There's some really intense moments, especially the RV scene. If you know what I'm talking about, that they were taking care of the baby T Rex and trying to fix the broken bone that the T Rex having, and then the mother finds the baby, and that sequence is really great. And then the third act kind of fell apart in my opinion, and I still do enjoy this movie, but it's not great. It's not as good as the original. There's no way they're gonna top the original, the Jurassic Park, which it's just so rich and delicious. The Lost World is a good meal, but it's not as rich, delicious as Jurassic Park. And that make any sense? But yeah, that's the Lost World. I enjoyed it. It's not great. And then we got AI, the artificial intelligence, which I thought is okay. This is a film that I have a whole new appreciation with. At first, when I watched this film for the first time years back, I thought it was okay. I thought it was meh. Then I start to liking it. It's not good yet. I start to like it, but it's not as near as in the good spot yet. But there's some good idea. There's some great performance by Jude Law. Um, Visually striking as well. But the story is kind of over the place. It's a mess. They didn't find the right storytelling beats that they want to tell. And originally Stanley Kubrick was originally going to direct this film, but then he passed away, and then Steven Spielberg came along to to finish his vision basically, and I thought it was okay. I got to appreciate AI a little bit more over the years. It didn't go to the good yet. But yeah, that's AI. And then we got Jurassic Park, masterpiece. This is one of the most iconic film from his filmography. Everybody loves this movie, including me. I adore this movie. It's intense. It's has a sense of wonder. It's magical. It's adventurous. It's everything what we wanted as an entertainment film. Um, this is Steven Spielberg, well known um, film that he has done, and one of his iconic film that he has done. And well, what else can I say that has already been said? It's Jurassic Park, classic, iconic, childhood favorite of mine. And when the T Rex was shown on screen, I was hooked. I was in. I'm there for life, basically. And I love Jurassic Park. Every time when I revisit this film, it never gets old. You just transcend it to that world. You just hooked into it. And I did read the book, the original novel by Michael Crichton, which had massive differences. It's different from the movie. Hammond, he's actually the villain in the book, not in the movie. The movie he made, they turned into a good guy, and yeah, I love Jurassic Park. Oh, hot. I love Jurassic Park. Anyways, let's get on. Let's moving on. So we got Hook, starring Robert Williams and Dustin Hoffman, and it's a great film. Love Hook. Love Hook. No near as a masterpiece as others, but it's top tier for sure. I love Hook. This is one of the films that have been panned by critics. Critics did not like this movie, and it became a cult following over the years, and now people recognize how good this movie is, and became one of the greats. And I love Robert Williams in this movie. Peter Banning, and he has a great character journey through it, trying to figure out who it is and the identity he is. And Rufio, man, I love Rufio, and Dustin Hoffman is so good as Captain Hook. I want Peter Pan. Love Hook. I love Hook. It's magical. That's the only way I can describe Hook. It's magical. It's just simply magical. Then we got Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is one of my favorite Indiana Jones films, and it's gonna go masterpiece. This is my favorite Indiana Jones films. I loved it. I mean, I still do to this day. It's wonderful. It's rewatchable. Sean Connery is fabulous in this movie, and I love the interaction, the father and son banter between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford is a dynamic. I just never get tired of watching them, and there's some moments really intense, and it's a great story, and they brought something new to the table in the third installment of the Indiana Jones franchise, and it still remains one of my favorites, top tier favorite Indiana Jones films. My number one favorite Indiana Jones films. I love The Last Crusade. And then we got the film that made an impact in my life. I'm not gonna get too emotional because this film is really special to me. That's E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I'm gonna go. It had to be masterpiece. It had to be. This film means so much to me. So much to me. In my life and my path into my dream career. This is the film that made a calling for me that I want to become a filmmaker because of that film. And Steven Spielberg made it an impact to me, and E.T. made an impact for me. There's three main reasons why I love this movie. One, it's a film that made me want to become a filmmaker. Two, it dealt with divorce that I have an experience with. That Elliot, the main character, dealt with seeing her mom being a single mom, and the divorce took a toll on the kids, and I fell for that because my parents are actually divorced, and I can so relate to Elliot. And three, Elliot is an outcast like me. He doesn't have friends. He always been sidelined and pushed back, and he's always in the invisible, and I actually relate to that too. That's what the three main points why E.T. is one of my favorite films of all time. My number one favorite film of all time, and man, huge impact in my life. This is the film I go to a lot. I revisit this film many times, and this is the film that made me through some tough times and helped me get through some tough times, and to make me feel okay. And not only the wonderful dramatic stuff, the grounded realism stuff. It's a great sci-fi movie as well. There's some great the theme of friendship and the theme of wonder, and I just adore E.T. The Extraterrestrial is really special to me. And whenever I meet Steven Spielberg, I just want to say thank you, and shake his hand, and just say thank you for everything, especially E.T. The Extraterrestrial, made a huge impact in my life, and the film fan life as well. So that's E.T. I don't want to get too emotional. I don't want to cry like a little baby that I am. But yeah, that's E.T. And then we got Raiders of the Lost Ark, which again is a masterpiece. I love this movie. I still prefer The Last Crusade over Raiders of the Lost Ark. But yeah, it's great. It's adventurous. Harrison Ford is amazing as Indiana Jones. I love the opening scene of this movie. Love Indiana Jones, The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, it's great stuff. And then we got Schindler's List, which I did not expect to revisit this film after 5 years. I saw this movie for the first time like 5 years ago. I believe that's 14 when I saw this movie for the first time. I love this movie, but I didn't think I'm gonna rewatch this movie in the year 2021, and I did. And it's powerful, emotional masterpiece. One of Steven Spielberg's more mature film. The fact that Steven Spielberg made two movies in 1 year, Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, and they're two polar opposite films. One is more adventurous, wondrous, magical movie, and the other is grounded, dramatic, depressing film. With that's how you show what a great director he is. He understands storytelling, and he understands what two different tones are, and remain the same director that he is to this day. And Schindler's List is wonderful, beautiful, heartbreaking, depressing, black and white, gorgeous black and white. Ralph Fiennes is great. So as Liam Neeson, Ben Kingsley is great too. Just a powerhouse film. It's powerful, and I got emotional in the third act of the film, especially when Liam Neeson performance just gave it such a massive impact to the film. There's a weight going on, and Schindler's List is fantastic. It's a masterpiece, and I'm probably gonna revisit this film again in the next 5 years, hopefully, because this is a film I'm really wanting to revisit when the time is right, basically. Now we go to Minority Report, Tom Cruise film, and I thought it was a great film, really cool futuristic film, a sci-fi detective story. It's great. I really enjoyed it. It's action packed. It's entertaining, and yeah, it's great stuff. And then we got Steven Spielberg's second feature starring Goldie Hawn, that's the Sugarland Express, and it's a good film, really good, really exciting, intense yet engaging as well. The performance by Goldie Hawn is fantastic, and it's a very interesting story, but a very engaging watch as well. So that's the Sugarland Express. And then we got Catch Me If You Can, starring Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a great film. I loved it. Amy Adams is in this too. Great story. Really entertaining story about a kid who had multiple personalities, basically. Disguising himself to be rich, or to have pretend to be a successful to pretend to have a successful job. I love Catch Me If You Can, and I wish Leonardo DiCaprio would collab Steven Spielberg more again. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm hoping one day they will collab again. Steven Spielberg and Leonardo DiCaprio. So that's Catch Me If You Can. Great film. And then we got the remake of West Side Story, which just came out recently, and I loved it. I saw it twice at the time of the recording. I saw it twice. I saw it in early screening, and I saw it at the showing. Love this one. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, I said it. It's a masterpiece. I think it's a great film, great adaptation to the new iteration of West Side Story, and I think I prefer the remake over the original. Shocking. The more I think about this movie, the more I love this movie. The way it was shot is beautiful. The way it performed by Rachel Zegler is magical, and one of the best parts about the movie is Rachel Zegler performances as Maria. I love the musical numbers. It's more exciting, more engaging. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love the original. I actually prefer the remake over the original. So that's that. And then we got 1941, which is awful. Bonus points for Toshiro Mifune because he's in that, but the rest, it's just a mess. It's over bloated. Basically the jokes is just non-stop. There's a moment that just drags on. Some jokes didn't land. It was not good at all. Not one of his best. And we got The Post, which is actually a good movie. I really enjoyed this movie. That was my first time watch of 2021. Tom Hanks is great as always. Meryl Streep is great as always. Really fascinating story as well. Bob Odenkirk is in the movie too. It's really great too. Really enjoyed this one. Really fascinating story as well about the whole newspaper telling this basically gossip story about the government. Basically, it's really fascinating stuff. I really enjoy The Post. It's not as great as the other film that he has done, but it's still a good movie nonetheless. And they got Always, starring John Goodman and Holly Hunter, which is actually an okay film. I enjoyed it, but it's just decent. It's okay. I thought John Goodman gave a good performance here, and for the longest time, I thought Always was an Emilia Eckhart film, but it's not. So my bad on my part, but I do enjoy some moments in the movie. There's some good moments here and there. I love the character interaction in the movie. They made it work well watching it, make it more engaging. But yeah, that's Always. I enjoyed it, but it's just an okay film. Not good, not great, not masterpiece. It's not bad either. It's just meh. I mean, it's just okay. My bad. It's just okay. And then we got The Adventures of Tintin, which is a masterpiece. Paramount, if you watch this movie, please, where is the sequel to Adventure Tintin? Where is it? Where is it? Anyhow, the movie, fantastic, wonderful, loved it, adventurous, engaging, exciting, it's funny at times, love Adventure Tintin. Hopefully they will do a sequel really soon, because it was always going to announce that they're going to do a sequel, but it's been on hold basically, and I don't know when we're going to get a sequel to this, so hopefully in the future we get a sequel to Tintin, because I think Tintin deserves a sequel. And then we got Lincoln, which is a great film. Daniel Day-Lewis gave a great performance, wonderful performance, and I thought it was a good story as well. Really well shot, really well directed, very grounded, and a fascinating story about Lincoln. I thought Lincoln was a great film. And then we got Ready Player One, which I read the book, loved the book by Ernest Cline, and I remember my friends and I were really excited for this movie. And it came out a perfect year because it came out during our senior year, so it was perfect year. And that's how Ready Player One is destroying, because it was a film that we were excited to watch because we loved the book. And I thought it was a great adaptation, so it can go to a great category. Yeah, I'm one of the few people who actually love Ready Player One. It's fun, and I just revisited it a couple weeks ago. I still love this movie. I still get the kick out of that movie. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's engaging. There's so many references I just adore. And it's really exciting. The car chase is great, and the third act battle is great too. The great cast: Ty Sheridan, Oliver Cook, Ben Mendelsohn is great too. I love Ready Player One. I don't care what people think. I love Ready Player One. And then we got Jaws. What can I say that hasn't already been said about Jaws? It's a masterpiece. It's a film that actually put his name on the map. That I'm gonna go to masterpiece category. It's a masterpiece. Intense, exciting, great character depths. The dialogue between the three main characters is wonderful to watch, engaging, never a dull moment, and it's a great story, very intense. Especially the third act of the film, it's iconic. We need a bigger boat, yeah. And then we got Empire of the Sun, which starring very young Christian Bale. Now that was a great film. no near as the masterpiece was. It was a good film nonetheless. Great story. Christian Bale gives a really good performance in this film. There's a lot of heartbreaking moments. I was shocked about that when I watched this movie because I went in knowing nothing about Empire of the Sun and going blind and watched it for the first time and experienced it for the first time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great film, and it's one of his strongest film in his filmography. So that's Empire of the Sun. And then we got Amistad, starring Matthew McConaughey, Anthony Hopkins, and Morgan Freeman, and that was a good film. Great performances, really great, inspiring story as well. Very heartbreaking at times, yet very inspirational that they have hope. And Amistad is great. Matthew McConaughey is wonderful. I didn't know that he's in a Steven Spielberg film until I watched Amistad, and I'm like, yeah, he did a great job, and it's a good story, and I really enjoy Amistad, and it's very inspirational. So that's Amistad. And then we got The Terminal, which is a very smaller scaled film, and I thought it was a great film. Charming, delightful, funny, wonderful. Take place in one location. Basically, Tom Hanks' character, he's from another country. He decided to go to America to visit New York for a couple of days. And it turned out that his visa doesn't work, so he's stuck in the terminal for months and trying to figure out how he would get out and go to New York to visit. And Stan Tucci is great in this. Catherine Zeta-Jones great. Zoe Saldana, Diego Luna. Tom Hanks is wonderful in this, very charming character. You're rooting for him basically, and I thought the Terminal was great. It was wonderful. And then we got Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Doom, which is great. Not as masterpieces as the third and the first, but it's still great, entertaining film. Harrison Ford is badass in this. Love Temple of Doom. Some dark moments. Yeah, I love Temple of Doom. Some great character interaction, new location, and just a really exciting entry in the Indiana Jones franchise. And then we got The Color Purple, which is honestly a great film. Um, Given wonderful performance by Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey. Great heartbreaking film. It's an interesting watch, and it's great. I was really hooked. I was hooked watching The Color Purple. So yeah, that's The Color Purple in the great category. And lastly but not least, this is his first feature film that I do, and it's a great film. Great, exciting, intense, very low budget, but you can tell there's Steven Spielberg fingerprints all over it, and you can tell he's the rising. He's about to become one of the greats in the future, and I love Duel. Really fun. I did not expect what kind of story gonna go. All I know about is there's a car chase going on, and the main character go nuts, and and intensity ensues for the movie. So that's Duel on the great category. And there you have it, guys. That is my ranking of all his films. I'm really satisfied by my ranking, but honestly, my number one favorite film from his is still E.T. the Extraterrestrial. That movie is really special to me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the ranking of all Steven Spielberg filmography up to date to West Side Story. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram, link below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care.